Okay, I'm your soul brother Talib, and today I just want to make a quick video, a general discussion before I leave out, cause I got business to take care of today, and those are Saturday, but it is what it is. But however, I just want to say that in the wake of what's been going on across America and even the world for the last couple of weeks or so. I just want to start off first with saying that you know, Kobe Bryant rest in peace. I heard our sister Noble Levine on our platform of Reality Temple Ministries, give her thoughts on that situation. And I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of that. You know, when she was talking about how Kobe Bryant's family members have been, speaking out about how they want to get back in touch with family members they haven't had connections with for a long time and that they have been estranged from for some time or so and stuff and all that. And, I have to say, from my own standpoint of that, in some cases, you know, that may work for some families. But for a lot of families, especially poor families and families that's poor and black, that just don't simply work. It don't work out that way. And, it's a lot of resentments, a lot of issues when it comes to jealousy, envy, you know, hatred, animosity, and all that other nonsense, that keeps families separated and divided. And of course, I've witnessed that firsthand from experience with my own family, my own personal family. Anyway, and I'm just starting to get back with communicating with certain family members that are on my deceased mother's side of the family, and may she rest in peace. But of course, there are still those that I do not ever wish nor will ever have any communication or any type of connections with due to stuff that happened in the past that's internally to the point where it's not repairable when it comes to repairing relationships. And the fact of life is that just certain things can't be fixed nor repaired. And you got some people who insist on that it can because of their religious belief or hope in a God that it will. Well, that's just simply not reality. Because if that was the case, if God was present, whatever God you may believe in, we wouldn't even be having these kind of conversations, whether publicly or on social media, and so the reality of it is that, some families just cannot ever, come back together. Now, maybe individuals, like in my case, may be able to come together on some sort of level or extent. But far as families, a lot of families as a whole, particularly in this country, that's already been destroyed, especially due to generations and generations of time passed by. It's like you say, almost impossible that could ever happen, far as family relationships being repaired. And like I say, I could go back and forth all day about, just from my experience alone, or why that can't exist. It's just not reality. And even in some cases, when certain things don't even got nothing to do with me, but because of the domino effect that it played on the family, unfortunately, it affected me as well, okay? So, it's like I said before, from when the sister was sharing from her own family experiences or what she been through, dealing with her family throughout her life, I can't do nothing but agree with that, and like I said, especially with black families, because I'm right now still at the point that there are individuals in my own biological that's in my own biological family that I honestly wouldn't mind handing their heads to them if the right opportunity and situation could ever present itself without me getting caught. And I'm just being point blank about that. But, however, as wisdom kicks in and as reasoning, right reasoning of understanding kicks in, I realize it's not worth that. It's not worth my time, nor risking my freedom, even, or somebody getting hurt or even getting killed, in that same equation of things, But that's just the way I feel about it. And that's one reason to keep any conflict from, taking place. I don't even have anything to do with them because of what was done and what took place and all who played a part in it, okay? And I'm not saying I didn't play a part in it either, but at the same time, we can all play our own parts in it, but it's a right way to play a part in it, and it's also a wrong way to play a part in it. You see? So, with that said, as I look at the so-called black family in America, we've always been disunited anyway, just due to the fact of, when this division started with slavery. Yeah. Yes, slavery has something to do with that. That's right. For those of you who always want to say we always want to use slavery as a crutch. No, slavery had something to do with that in this case. Okay. Slavery definitely had something to do with that. And because of that, it still affects black families throughout America, among 40-some million of us who are descendants of ex-Negro slaves born in America. That definitely slavery does impact how black families function in this country today. The after effects of it, anyway, it definitely impacts and affects it to the way where it's almost impossible to overcome because of the dysfunctional implications that go along with division in many black families in this country. And for those who are descendants of dark-skinned slaves born in America that say that they come from 1,000% total good families and they don't have no problems and they get along and this and that and everybody is kumbaya and all that, they telling the damn lie. Okay, I just want to make that clear. They telling the damn lie. Yeah, there are some families in the black community that are well off, that get along, but let the right situation present itself. The right situation or circumstances present itself. And due to the effects of slavery also, we'll see how that pan out. You know, and see, this is the thing, you know, because many black people refuse to accept truth, real truth and reality for what it is. You know, so you got to let Negroes experience and learn things the hard way for themselves, you know, before you try to at least convince them or influence them to hopefully accept the truth as it exactly is. So that's the point I've gotten at. Whereas I don't try to personally tell or suggest, rather to say, things to Negroes. You know, especially the ones who think they know everything and you can't, you know, reason with them about nothing, you know. And the whole situation of that matter is that the black family is destroyed. Like I could say, I could tell you different stories, even what's going on in my own family. Like I say, that helps further confirm that as a fact. You know, like I heard somebody say, you know, in many black families, when you ain't got nothing, your own family members don't want to be bothered with you. But if you got money or something that they figure they could benefit off of, then that's when they open their doors to you and all this other stuff and claim they love you and this and that and all this other stuff, unroll the carpet for you. But when you ain't got nothing, they dump you to the side like a bag of a sack of potatoes, you know? Like a hot sack of potato, they just drop you to the side, you know? And that also what was done to me, and that's what I've seen done to other people of so-called color in this country, or rather who are descendants of dark-skinned slaves that was born here in America, you know? And like I said, it's not a pretty sight when you dealing and experiencing with that type of feeling of neglect or abandonment, you know, especially when it comes to your own family, and especially when they do it for no reason at all, you know, just because they're ornery, trifling, you know, assholes, which I usually don't like to curse, but I just had to throw that out there, you know. And I mean, that's just the reality of it. And, you know, when we always want to talk about the white man or the Caucasian, We are just a carbon copy of them. Like a brother say, being a fact, because of through slavery, you know, us being created by them through slavery, of course. And like a sister said, this is why the Africans look at us as European dark ones. And also understand and know that we're not their same breed when it comes to dark-skinned people. They know we are a different breed from them. And this is why many of them, when they come to this country, they choose much as possible to separate themselves from us. And you know, I'll be honest, yes, they got problems in the continent. I get all that and everything else. But you know, I'm going to have to say this. You know, when they see how we deal with each other here in America, in a land where we have opportunities to pull ourselves up out the situation that we've been in for the last over 400 years, and they see how we are still disunited, separated, divided among ourselves. If I was one of them, I wouldn't want nothing to do with your happy ass either. You know? I wouldn't want to be associated with you either. And I mean, that's just the fact of the matter, you know? And honestly, you know what I'm saying? Yes, they come over here and they benefit off our ancestors' struggle for our civil rights and all that. But however, it's because we ain't taken advantage of it. To the point where we've left them more room to take advantage of it than us. When it was our ancestors' struggle that created these certain laws through civil rights for us to be able to at least take that and try to turn something into a better reality for ourselves as a people in this country, you know. But because we've allowed them Africans to come here and take that position, or rather fill that position, we can't blame nobody but ourselves for that. And that's just the reality of it, you know. So, I mean, the whole thing about it is that, you know, when I see the situation for what it is, just like, you know, and no disrespect to Kobe Bryant either, but at the end of the day, you know, I see many Negroes all in social media crying and whimpering over Kobe Bryant's death, or any other celebrity that passed away in recent times, like Michael Jackson, you know, James Brown, Prince, and the list goes on, you know what I'm saying? But what about the deaths of those that grew up right next door to you, that grew up right across the street from you, that went to school with you, that ran the streets with you, broke bread with you, fought with you, even damn nearly died in the streets with you, hustled with you just to survive, committed crimes with you just to survive. You understand? Had to fend off other people with you just to survive so y'all could be safe. What about them people that die? Half you forget them people. I'm not saying all of you, but half of you forget them people. as if they never even exist. And then when you finally hear about them, some of you act like you don't even remember them. It might be the same one that might have saved your life in a certain situation at once a time or another, you know? I'm talking about average people who ain't no celebrity, who don't got millions or billions. That's just like you poor, ain't got nothing or whatever, or ain't got much, you know? But you don't look at them in the same light when they pass away. You don't have that same strong emotion for them like you do for when a celebrity dies. And see, this is an indication that clearly shows how far divided black people is. Because I guarantee you, just to let you know how fake a lot of you is about it, if Kobe Bryant was to try to go into the hood in LA, although he did help donate to try to help, better things in the communities of LA, far as, but he was also from Philadelphia. Did he ever turn back to help them brothers and sisters in Philadelphia, where he came from originally? And if he did go back in Philadelphia in the hood, riding around on the streets of North Philly in this nice limousine or car, y'all be trying to rob him. The same thing if he was caught somewhere in LA, in a rough part of LA like Compton or something, just by itself. Y'all be plotting to rob and kill him. I remember his former teammate, Shaq O'Neal, once said, why would he even travel in the hood? Just so people could have the opportunity to try to rob him, just because they know he rich and famous. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, the thing about that is that, you don't really even give a damn about them people. I mean, to tell the truth. Because if it's like I said, if you could get the least opportunity, you would try to take what they got. I mean, and this is just how low, unfortunately, that many black people have came to be. We don't have no loyalty and no type of sense of integrity among each other as a people. No self-respect, no regard. This is why the races, as well as other groups of people in this country, could, mistreat us the way they do. And then you wonder why no one respects us as a group of people. You wonder why no one wants nothing to do with us as a group of people. You see? So, this is the reason why, like I said, the reality of the whole situation is that while we, crying about a celebrity dying or grieving so heavily emotionally over a celebrity dying, think about your friend. Think about your own personal family member. You know what I'm saying? And even the ones that you ain't close to. Because you don't even know Kobe Bryant. You never met Kobe Bryant personally. But you grieve over him emotionally like you personally knew him all your life. And that just don't go for him. That go for any other celebrity. Okay? That's just not restricted to him. That go for any celebrity. And like I said also, is that those that you know due to family relationships, growing up in the hood with. You know what I'm saying? They're human beings too. Just like them celebrities is. You see? So my thing is this. You know, is that they, matter of fact, are more closer to you than them celebrities because you was around them most of your life or had some type of kind of real personal connection with them one way or another. You see? But like I said, when they die or something tragic happened to them or whatever, you don't grieve the same way like you do over a celebrity. And that's very hypocritical. And I'm even talking about celebrities who got money like that and don't give a damn. Whether it be a Kobe, whether it be a Michael Jackson or Prince, you know, and so forth on. People that don't know you wouldn't even give you a time of day, especially if you poor. Despite what kind of talents they had and all that, the reality is many rich people don't want to be associated with poor people, especially in a country like America, which is so materialistic and filled with greed, you know? And that's just the reality of this situation, you know? So like I said before, we need to stop being hypocritical, especially as black people. We really need to. And then, like you say, people wonder why we so divided. That's one of the primary reasons why. And we not trying to do nothing to correct that. You know? And when we try to do something to correct that, like me and brother Talik, who came up with this idea as far as the Mississippi campaign, where we could, you know, influence people that live in the state of Mississippi to use their voting powers to take control of a whole entire state where it will benefit the whole entire 44 million population of dark-skinned slave descendants in this country. Y'all laughed at that as some type of joke or made mockery of that as some type of kind of joke because many of you don't want change anyway. And if you can't really start with your own family as far as changing situations that are repairable or even irreparable, then how in the world do you think we could simply come together all at once to try to do something to carve out a new reality for ourselves as a people in general in this country? Like I used to always hear in the pro-black conscious community when I was under that type of mind frame set where unity starts at home, right? So if you can't start at home first with your family, how in the heck do you expect this is going to work with the entire group of people? See, this is why our platform of Operation Exodus Mississippi understands why it would just take a few of us and not all 44 plus million of us to make this reality actually work. You see. So like I said before, we are definitely disconnected as a people when it comes to all this, because of the fact that we can't even get along with our own family members. But yet, we claim to get along or want to get along with other dark-skinned soul brothers and sisters who are not kin to each other. You see what I'm saying? But we can't even get along with our own relatives. And that's a shame. That it really is. It really is. And then moving on to something else I wanted to also speak about before I close out in this video. Speaking of relatives, I was just talking to a relative, back home where I'm from. And this relative still resides in that particular city and state where I'm from as well. And, the word is that every time they walk out the door, they still got to look over their shoulders. The typical type of situation I had the experience living there myself. And, but in their case, they children's father, who's a licensed gun owner carrier, watches them every time they open up the door to walk out the house to make sure that they get in the car safe or leave from outside the house safe to get to where they gotta go. And that's bad. I don't think nobody should want to live in a situation like that. But of course, the reality is that we're living in a messed up world. That's just that bad. And, this is why I say to those of you that are dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, instead of complaining, make a difference. Do something about it. So you won't have to resort to running over to the suburbs or somewhere around a bunch of Caucasians that don't like you and more likely don't want you even next door or across the street from them. You see what I'm saying? So you need to stay in your communities and make a difference. And also, like I said before, better yet, get on this ship called the Operation Exodus Mississippi Campaign so we could take control of an entire state and build from there to carve out a better future for us and the generations to come behind us. And that is just, the reality of the situation. Whether you like it or not, or want to or not, but that's just what we stand at as black people in America. Because ain't nobody gonna do nothing for us. The politicians then shown they don't give a damn about us. Even your own so-called leadership in the black community is shown that they don't give a damn about you. Other than, pimping you, race hustling you, or whatever they want to call that, So, like I said before, we need to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and do what we got to do. which is the point of this video as well. But also, we need to also just understand and realize that, you know, if we want a better environment in a situation for ourselves, our family, and especially our children, and their children, and their children's children, and so on forth, then we gotta, do what we need to do to create that situation and stop waiting on others. And stop being so scared to deal with each other. And see, that's another problem with black people. We more scared to deal with each other than someone else is. And that's a shame. It really is. It's a shame, It really is. We're actually scared to deal with each other. And from certain points of understanding, I don't agree with the idea of being scared of each other, but at some point I can understand why too. Because it's a lot of us that are very trifling. They see a person, especially that look like them, they'll kill them with it in the nickel of a drop of a dime. Just because. I was just talking to another young family member of mine. Just recently, and he's putting me up on stuff about his generation that I'm just catching up on. Say young people out there 3 decades later, long after Michael Jordan has retired from basketball, is still killing each other over his name brand shoe. This stuff that started back in the 80s when I was coming up, and majority of them, unfortunately, are black, Africans, Kemetic, or Moors, or whatever you want to refer to yourself as far as people with soul go, But they're killing each other over some damn name brand shoes that it probably only cost 5 cents in China to make in a factory somewhere, or cost even just that same much to make in a factory somewhere in Vietnam. And then you see another soul brother or sister wearing a pair of them name brand shoes named after Jordan, and you want to kill them. Risk your freedom or even your own life over some damn pair of Jordans. I mean, how low is that? How low can you keep going? Like Public Enemy used to say, how low can you go? I mean, really. And it's sad. It really is. While we so caught up on these petty issues, these nitpicking issues and all this other nonsense that ain't really getting us nowhere as a people. And we got all this going on, We got many black women missing in the hundreds, I believe. That even law enforcement around this country ain't making no efforts to try to help resolve, Which shows just how much don't nobody give a damn about us. And the fact is, we don't give a damn about ourselves. We definitely can't expect nobody else to. And that's just the reality of it. That is really the reality of the situation, And I mean, I also want to speak on something else too. You know, I used to pay attention to the rap industry when I was younger, more so than now. And the same cousin who had brought up the issue about the Jordan sneakers or whatever, he's around that music industry. And he tells me quite a bit now of what I didn't know or what I'm catching up on is how our people don't really care about each other in that music industry. And like the sister Noveline said about P. Diddy, about how they hoop and holler and complain about how the Caucasian establishment with the Grammy Awards mistreat black artists, but then he mistreated black artists that was under his own record label called Bad Boys. And the same thing like with Jay-Z and others that look like them. You want somebody else to treat you, you know what I'm saying, with respect and decency. Well then, like somebody said, you need to learn how to treat your own people in the same manner by paying them what they deserve or what their talents warranted, so they could feed their families and become billionaires like you became billionaires, and stop taking food out their mouth. And that's just only right, you know. And I mean, it's like it's getting redundant to the point when you hear black people talking about what Caucasians have done, especially for centuries to us as a people and this and that, but yet we steady, you know, killing each other, mistreating each other in all kind of crazy manners and stuff, you know. And this is why I've always said, when it comes down to this, especially with the crazy black on black crime, where's Black Lives Matter at then? So, I mean, my thing is this. I don't even subscribe to listening to black social media as much as I used to, unless I'm speaking from my platform or is something going on my platform. And I look at other videos just to kind of keep up on what's going on, but not all the time like I used to. Because I know most of those in so-called pro-black social media ain't really saying nothing and ain't talking about nothing, nor putting forth nothing effective, that's going to really make a difference entirely from what it is for us as a people, And then those of you that mock our ideal of the Mississippi campaign, you ain't willing to put up or show and improve how much better you're doing to carve out a better existence for us as a people. So that's another reason why I don't really care to hear what they got to say as far as the naysayers of our ideal go, I don't really care to even hear what they got to say or what they're talking about. I don't even watch their videos. And even if they are making negative comments about us and our platform, I don't even care to hear. Because like I told them personally, I'm not into social media drama like that, but, I just had to get on here today and just really, open up about some of this stuff that's going on, Now, we got this Caucasian politician, of course, who's a Democrat, named Bernie Sanders, you know, who's running for president right now. And he is one of the top Democrats running for Donald Trump's position in the White House. And he, over recently ago, told the ADOS movement that reparations was not up for discussion. Okay. But, you know, we all got our own different opinions about politics and stuff like that as well. And to an extent that could be respected, you know, but Bernie Sanders is not your typical Democrat presidential candidate. That's why they did everything they could in their power to block him from even winning the Democrat nomination against Hillary Clinton in 2016, which he had a good chance of doing, and which he would have done if they wouldn't have rigged the elections to keep him from being the top Democrat presidential candidate. And see, what he's talking about doing, even now that he's running for president, is that he's talking about breaking corporate America's pockets. He's talking about actually breaking corporate America's pockets and doing some things that would keep this country from exploding. And my point of this is that economically being destroyed to the point where we will have an American version of the French Revolution where people's heads will actually be handed to them. And those of you in the pro-black conscious community like the Nation of Islam who claim you want to see America fall, you don't want to see that kind of fall of America take place, because that's exactly what would take place as far as America falling. You don't have no defense against it. You don't have no plan to escape this when it take place. So why you even keep on talking about separation when you really are not about separation, which your actions demonstrate? You see, and Bernie Sanders get in there, he's talking about tearing down corporations that benefit off the prison industry, that benefits off of the Medicare industry, health industry, and all that, and like health insurance companies and all that kind of stuff. He's talking about breaking all that. And that's why your so-called liberal, moderate Democrats, let alone Republicans, don't even want him in there, because that's going to cut into their money as well. And see, long as they getting money like that, that's where the rich and poor is furtherly being divided. And when that happens in America, like in any other country, that's when monarchy and unrest start taking place. And trust me, those of you like myself that's living in America truly do not want to see that take place. I'm going to repeat it again. Y'all don't want to really see that take place, because y'all don't have no defense for it. Black people can't even come together on something simply like taking control of a damn state that would quarantine or protect us from that type of situation. As far as taking place throughout the rest of America, if something like that is to happen in this country, you see. So, my stand on that, yes, Bernie Sanders is not perfect, of course. He's a typical Caucasian, like the rest of them that's not perfect and who don't really, have the interests of dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, who are referred to as people of soul, you know, in terms of reparations, which we're owed, true enough, but that's just not a reality. And what he said to the adults movement confirmed more that they not giving us nothing. They didn't give it to us when they let us loose from the slave plantation, and they not gonna give it to us. But we can seize the opportunity and the agenda that he is using as a platform to run for president on, to where we can take advantage of a situation to carve out a future for ourselves at the same time. Because if this country keeps going in the same direction that it's going, which it looks like, we're going to see chaos and monarchy like never before in this country. And like I said, black people is not going to have no defense against it. But of course, other races and nationalities like Caucasians, Mexicans, Asians will have more unity than us. We won't have no type of defense for this, you see. And that won't be a pretty sight at all. So for those of you in the Nation of Islam, the Nubian Nation, the Moorish Science Temple of America, and these other groups that claim that you want to unite or separate from, the races or whatever, you're not really about that. You really ain't about that agenda. So stop faking like you is, because you're not. You're not really about that. Because it's going to really take work to make that happen. And I mean, like I said before, we are in a situation where the country can end up at that point right now, especially with who we still got in office, as president. And I mean, it's so many implications where black people might as well just resign to the fact that we may be on our way to the mass graves or concentration camps because we don't believe that doo-doo stank, just like those Jews of Nazi Germany did not believe that doo-doo stank when they own tried to warn them of what was to come. So like I said before, and once they were hauled off to them gas chambers and concentration camps, it was too late. And that same thing at any right given time or opportunity can happen to black people right here in America. But like I said, we don't believe that doo-doo stank because we comfortable with our oppression, because we got cars, houses, nice thousands of dollars of clothes that cost an average poor worker in China 5 cents to make in some damn factory. You know what I'm saying? This type of stuff, So like I said before, we need to, a lot of us who claiming to be about liberation, we need to just stop faking. Especially if you was already a Christian or a straight up Negro from the street, you might as well just go back to being that. Really. And that's just the straight up truth about the whole thing. But anyway, I got to get on with the rest of my day. But I just wanted to, make this discussion video, quick and I know it's 55 some minutes, but I didn't intend for it to be that long, of course. But I needed to really, you know, throw out some things to y'all to let y'all know that hopefully it'll marinate somewhere down the line and get y'all to really understand what serious situation we're in as a people. And with that said, I'm Audi 5000 in peace.